Thanks for looking at this with me. I'm just curious what you think about the students using electronic resources instead of those big code books. What happens is when you're using an electronic resource, you're going to have 3 PDFs on your desktop. You've got your alphabetical index, you've got your tabular, and you've got your coding guidelines. Let's take an example from your class. If we look at this first one, non-displaced fracture of right collarbone, acromial end, initial encounter. We just look at that one. We go into the alphabetical index. You're going to go Control F for find. And we're going to type fracture, collarbone, end. And when I search for that, it doesn't find a match. And I happen to know from trial and error that the reason why it's not is it doesn't recognize collarbone. So the student would then have to figure out what term is missing. And let's just say it's clavicle. And now let's search. And it takes us here. C, fracture, clavicle, acromial end. We look up here. Here it is. This particular example is non-displaced, S42.03. So that is what we get from the index. Copy that. Now go into the index, the tabular, and do a Control F. We're going to put in, it's remembering what I've already done. S42.03. It's a non-displaced fracture of the right clavicle, so S42.034. We have that much. This just helps me to remember it. S42.034. Look back up here, the appropriate 7th character, and because it is a closed fracture, it says a fracture not indicated as open or closed should be coded to close. So its initial encounter for closed fractures A. So our answer is this. Now, if you were in my class, I would then have you go into the guidelines and finding the Chapter 19 guidelines. It takes you to the table of contents, you click, and now you're in your guidelines, and you would just scroll down and read the various guidelines. If none of the guidelines pertain to you in this particular case, you would, here's your answer, S42.034A. So you see it is quite different than how you might find a code in the code book. I like those big paper code books. One, because I'm 62 years old. Also because I like to write notes in my code book, like little sticky notes that I can remind myself of certain things. When a new coding clinic comes out that affects some of the codes, I can make, again, my little sticky note and talk about that coding clinic and how it's different this time around, to remind me of things. You don't have that option that I can tell here. It looks like you might be able to bookmark certain things, but I don't see where you could write a sticky note. Maybe you know better than I do how you might do that. Looks like you can do bookmarks, but I don't see where you could do a sticky note. You can, maybe this is a sticky note. Ah, it is. Okay, so you could make a note here, say Coding Clinic 2017 4th quarter says blah 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 blah, and post, and that would be there each time I came in to look at that. And I could also, I guess, highlight something and it would keep it. I'm assuming you save it to your desktop, so each time I would open this PDF, I would see, if I came to this category again, I'd see where I highlighted it. So I guess it does have some abilities to edit things. You can close this to make it bigger. This is your note there. So it does have some ability to annotate different things. So that's a very quick look at it, but I'd love to know what you think, if you think that would be possible. I'm going to send you the 3 PDFs that I have here, the index, the tabular, and the guidelines, as well as the exercise 2 that we use in our course and the answer key. If you could just look at a few of those and give me some feedback, if you think it would be a good idea to have students have just the electronic documents and work from those to learn how to code, or if it really would be more confusing and they need that big heavy book to learn to code. Thank you so much. I look forward to hearing what you have to say.